Once upon a time, a man named Kisagotami suffered the loss of his only child. Stricken with grief, he wandered from house to house seeking medicine that could bring her child back to life. Someone directed him to Buddha, who was known for his wisdom and compassion. Kisagotami went to Buddha and asked him for medicine to revive her child. Buddha replied, "I will give you the medicine, but you must first bring me a handful of mustard seeds from a house where no one has died." Relieved and hopeful, Kisagotami set out to find the mustard seeds. He went from house to house, but in every home, someone had died. Realizing that death is a universal experience and that he was not alone in her grief, Kisagotami returned to Buddha with a newfound sense of understanding and acceptance. Buddha taught Kisagotami that death is a natural part of life and that suffering is caused by our resistance to the impermanence of all things. Through this lesson, Kisagotami was able to find peace and live his life with a deeper understanding of the nature of reality. The story of Kisagotami and Buddha teaches us the importance of acceptance and letting go of our attachment to things that are impermanent. Today's video is also about the learnings based on similar philosophy, the art of not giving a damn, the art of letting go, and the art of acceptance to become successful in every walk of your life. So let's begin. Principle 1. You have a limited amount of damns to give. We only have a limited amount of time and energy, and therefore, we should be mindful about what we choose to care about in life. The idea is that we should prioritize the things that truly matter to us and let go of the rest. We live in a culture that emphasizes positivity and the pursuit of happiness, which can often lead us to try to care about everything. We try to keep up with the news, social media, and the latest trends, and we end up feeling overwhelmed and stressed out. To combat this, we should focus on what is truly important to us. Instead of spreading our time and energy thin by trying to give a damn about everything, we should be more selective and mindful about what we choose to care about. The argument is that when we care about too many things, we dilute our time and energy, and we end up feeling drained and unfulfilled. Instead, we should focus on the things that matter to us the most. For example, if we value our health, we should make sure to prioritize exercise and healthy eating. If we value our relationships, we should make time for our loved ones and invest in those relationships. Overall idea of having a limited amount of damns to give encourages us to be more intentional and mindful about where we put our time and energy. By choosing to focus on what truly matters to us, we can live a more fulfilling and purposeful life. Principle 2. Happiness comes from solving problems. Happiness is not a constant state, but rather a byproduct of solving problems. We must understand that life is full of problems, and that it is through the process of solving them that we find fulfillment and happiness. The argument is based on the idea that human beings are wired to solve problems. From an evolutionary perspective, our ancestors had to solve problems in order to survive. Today, we face a different set of problems, but the basic human drive to solve them remains the same. According to this principle, the key to finding happiness is to embrace the problems that we face and see them as opportunities to grow and improve ourselves. It is obvious that when we avoid or deny our problems, we miss out on the chance to learn from them and become better people. There are different levels of problems, ranging from small and mundane to large and existential. Regardless of the size of the problem, he argues that the process of solving it can bring a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. It is also suggested that the pursuit of happiness is not the same as the attainment of happiness. Instead of trying to achieve a constant state of happiness, we must focus on solving the problems that matter to us. By doing so, we can experience moments of fulfillment and satisfaction that lead to a more sustainable form of happiness. Overall, the idea is that happiness comes from solving problems and encourages us to embrace the challenges that life throws our way. Rather than avoiding or denying our problems, we should approach them with a sense of curiosity and a willingness to learn and grow. By doing so, we can find meaning and purpose in our lives, and experience a deeper sense of happiness and fulfillment. Principle 3. Embrace uncertainty. One of the keys to living a happier and more fulfilling life is to embrace uncertainty. He suggests that life is inherently unpredictable and that we should learn to accept this fact, rather than trying to control everything around us. Many of us spend a lot of time and energy trying to control our lives and avoid uncertainty. We seek stability, security, and predictability, and we become anxious and stressed when things don't go according to plan. It is suggested that this approach to life is not only unrealistic, but it also leads to a lot of unnecessary suffering. Instead of trying to control everything, we must embrace uncertainty and learn to live with it. Uncertainty is a natural part of life, and that we can find freedom and peace of mind by accepting it. Embracing uncertainty involves several key attitudes and practices. Firstly, we should learn to let go of the need for certainty and control. We should accept that there are many things in life that are beyond our control, and that we cannot predict or prevent everything. Secondly, we must cultivate a sense of curiosity and openness to new experiences. Rather than clinging to what we know and trying to avoid the unknown, we should embrace the opportunities and challenges that come our way. Finally, embracing uncertainty involves developing resilience and adaptability. We should learn to bounce back from setbacks and challenges, and be willing to adjust our goals and expectations when things don't go as planned. The idea of embracing uncertainty encourages us to let go of the need for control and predictability, and to approach life with a sense of curiosity, openness, and adaptability. By doing so, we can find freedom, peace of mind, and a greater sense of meaning and purpose in our lives. Principle 4. Take responsibility for your life. Manson emphasizes the importance of taking responsibility for our lives. Many people blame others or external circumstances for their problems, instead of taking ownership of their lives and making the necessary changes. It is important to take responsibility for our lives means recognizing that we have the power to change our circumstances. We are responsible for our own happiness, success, and well-being, and it's up to us to take action to make positive changes in our lives. Taking responsibility involves several key attitudes and practices. Firstly, we should stop blaming others or external circumstances for our problems. We should take a hard look at ourselves and our own actions, and recognize the ways in which we may have contributed to our problems. Secondly, take action to change our circumstances. We should identify the areas of our lives that are causing us problems, and take concrete steps to address them. This might involve changing our habits, setting goals, seeking help or support, or making difficult decisions. Thirdly, it is emphasized that the importance of embracing the uncertainty and challenges that come with taking responsibility for our lives. We may encounter setbacks or obstacles along the way, but we should view these as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than as reasons to give up or blame others. Overall, taking responsibility for our lives encourages us to be proactive, accountable, and resilient. By recognizing our own agency and power, and taking action to make positive changes, we can create a more fulfilling and meaningful life for ourselves. Principle 5. Learn to say no. It is emphasized that the importance of setting boundaries and learning to say no. Many people struggle with saying no because they are afraid of disappointing others or missing out on opportunities, but this can lead to a lot of stress, burnout, and unhappiness. Learning to say no involves several key attitudes and practices. Firstly, we should be clear about our values and goals. We should know what's truly important to us, and be willing to prioritize those things over other commitments or obligations. Secondly, it is important for us to be mindful of our time and energy. We only have a limited amount of resources, and we should be careful about how we spend them. Saying no to certain commitments or activities can free up time and energy to focus on what's truly important. Thirdly, it is emphasized that the importance of setting boundaries. We should be clear about our limits and communicate them to others. This might involve saying no to social events, work assignments, or personal requests that don't align with our values or goals. Finally, learning to say no can be difficult, but it's a necessary part of creating a fulfilling and meaningful life. Saying no requires courage, self-awareness, and the willingness to disappoint others. However, it also allows us to focus on what's truly important and to live according to our own values and goals. The idea of learning to say no encourages us to be mindful, intentional, and assertive in our choices. By setting boundaries and saying no to things that don't align with our values or goals, we can create a more fulfilling and satisfying life for ourselves. Principle 6. Embrace failure. It is emphasized that the importance of embracing failure is a necessary part of growth and learning. It is argued that many people fear failure and avoid taking risks because they are afraid of being judged, ridiculed, or rejected. However, this can lead to a stagnant and unfulfilling life. Embracing failure involves several key attitudes and practices. Firstly, we should redefine failure. Instead of viewing failure as a personal indictment or a sign of weakness, we should see it as an opportunity to learn and improve. Failure is not the opposite of success, but rather a necessary part of the journey towards success. Secondly, it is encouraged to take risks and try new things, even if we may fail. We should be willing to step out of our comfort zones and embrace uncertainty, knowing that failure is a natural part of the process. Thirdly, it is important to be resilient and perseverance. We may encounter setbacks or failures along the way, but it's important to keep going and to learn from our mistakes. This requires a growth mindset, where we see challenges and failures as opportunities to learn and improve, rather than as reasons to give up. Embracing failure can be a liberating and empowering experience. When we stop fearing failure and start seeing it as an opportunity to learn and grow, we can take more risks, be more creative, and achieve greater success. The idea of embracing failure encourages us to be resilient, open-minded, and courageous in our pursuits. By seeing failure as an opportunity to learn and grow, we can create a more fulfilling and meaningful life for ourselves. Principle 7. Find meaning of life. The key to a fulfilling life is finding meaning and purpose. He suggests that many people struggle with finding meaning in their lives, and that this can lead to feelings of emptiness, confusion, and dissatisfaction. Finding meaning involves several key attitudes and practices. Firstly, we should be clear about our values and priorities. We should identify what truly matters to us and pursue it relentlessly, even if it goes against the norms or expectations of society. Secondly, focus on the present moment and to engage in activities that bring us joy and fulfillment. This might involve pursuing hobbies, spending time with loved ones, or engaging in meaningful work or service. Thirdly, it is emphasized that the importance of creating a sense of purpose and direction in our lives. We should set goals and work towards them, even if they are difficult or challenging. This can give us a sense of purpose and direction, and help us to overcome obstacles and setbacks. Finally, finding meaning in life requires a willingness to confront difficult truths and to embrace our own mortality. We should recognize that life is short and precious, and that we should make the most of the time we have. This can involve accepting the inevitability of death and using it as a motivator to live a more meaningful and purposeful life. The idea of finding meaning in life encourages us to be intentional, courageous, and compassionate in our choices. By focusing on what truly matters to us, engaging in meaningful activities, and pursuing our goals with purpose and direction, we can create a more fulfilling and satisfying life for ourselves. It is encouraged to live a more intentional and purposeful life by focusing on the things that truly matter and letting go of the rest. That's it for today's video. We'll see you with another knowledgeable video tomorrow.